Good afternoon, sir. This is my report, Oplan Tokhang. Composition of Oplan Tokhang. Composition of the operation of Oplan Double Barrel, popularly known as Tokhang, a Visayan word means to approach and talk, was first implemented in Davao City, where President Duterte served as mayor for several years. It is a national law enforcement project that was implemented throughout the Philippines as part of the campaign to warn drug traffickers and users to stop using drugs upon the assumption of the presidency in July 2016. Objectives of Oplan Tokhang. PNP Oplan Tokhang is the policy ordered by President Duterte in his fight against illegal drugs. The national drug policy aimed of eradicating the nation's drug problem and other forms of criminality in the country, where police personnel are intended to speed up drug problem situation by visiting the houses of the illegal drug personalities, knocking at the doors of alleged drug users or pushers, asking them to surrender to the police and asking them to stop the illicit acts. Legal requirements: pre-Tokhang, during Tokhang, and post-Tokhang. Pre-Tokhang. First is creation, updating of the drug watch list. The drug watch list is the Bible of Oplan Tokhang. Without it, cops cannot operate as they can only conduct Tokhang against people on the list. The second is creation and training of Tokhang teams. Not just anyone can conduct Tokhang anymore. All police stations and precincts should have select people taking part in the operations, each votes for by the local police chief. Last is pre-deployment preparations. Each Tokhang team is required to name a team leader who will gather all members before every operation. The team is required to meet with the station commander for a pre-deployment briefing. During the debriefing, the team is expected to discuss which homes they will go to. The team leader must plan with the situation and present commanders when to conduct operations, as they are only allowed to operate from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. from Monday to Fridays. During Tokhang, number 1, knock then flag. This is the main component of Oplan Tokhang, knocking on drug suspects homes, then asking them to surrender. After knocking, a Tokhang team cannot enter a house without the owner's permission. For houses without gates, the team should knock them, then plead for drug suspects to surrender. In front of the door. For houses with fences, the team should knock and plead in front of the gate. Cops can only talk to the person whose name is on the list, and they must not require the person to sign any document. These encounters are encouraged to be recorded with body cameras once the gadgets are available. De La Rosa vowed to require this once all stations have at least one camera. Next is documentation and referrals. The operation can only go to two ways for the drug suspects: either they surrender or they don't. If the person expresses intent to surrender, the Tokhanger should refer him or her to the nearest barangay hall, anti-drug abuse council office, or police station for documentation. The drug suspect should be accompanied by a relative or guardian to witness the procedure. Once brought to any of those venues, The drug suspect will be asked to fill up a biographical profile for form BPF, but the giving of information should be voluntary and the suspect should not be forced to fill up forms like the BPF or to have his or her photo taken if a drug suspect expresses intent to get. If a of his or her photo taken. If a drug suspect expresses intent to get rehabilitation, Tokhanger should refer him or her to the local government unit or to any concerned agency like the Department of Health or the Department of Social Welfare and Development. If a suspect refuses to surrender, Tokhang teams are tasked to alert local drug enforcement units, who will then begin a case build-up that may lead to another anti-drug operation. The Tokhangers not need to be updated with the status of recovery of suspects in their area of responsibility. Post-Tokhang. Number 1 activity after activity report evaluation. Following the operation after activity report must be submitted to regional police higher-ups for consolidation. Before they called it a day, Tokhang teams also need to assess their performance, then share best practices from the field. These sharing sessions will be documented for future reference. Next is accountability. If any of the procedures are not followed, Tokhangers and their situations commanders and possibly even regional police chiefs would be punished. The new rules set up a one-strike policy to weed out negligent police bosses. Present stations commander will be sacked if at least one Tokhang team member fails to follow the new guidelines properly. City or municipal chief or police will be sacked if at least two present or station commanders under him or her fail to follow the new guidelines properly. Provincial directors will be sacked if at least two cops are sacked due to negligence. Regional directors will be sacked at least two PDs or cities cops get sacked due to Tokhang related issues. Recommendation for the improvement of Oplan Tokhang. Oplan Tokhang is the Duterte administration's campaign against illegal drugs, which is a problem that the president claims has affected millions of Filipinos. Officials claim the anti-drug campaign improved the peace and order situation in the country. But critics said the crackdown has encouraged human rights abuses. Oplan Tokhang has violated a number of constitutionally guaranteed rights of the drug suspects, including the right to privacy, due process, counsel, information, and healthcare. PNP should conduct regular seminars on drug education among the residents to inform them of the disadvantages derived from drug use and to encourage them to voluntarily surrender if they are hooked on drugs and undergo government rehabilitation programs. That's all. Thank you.